Hey Damsels, welcome back to another episode of Damsels After Dark. If you're new here, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Kristen.
And in our corner of the internet, we rant, rave, obsess, love on, hate on all things books.
Today we'll be reviewing The Heartless Hunter. It's the Crimson Moth duology by Kristen Ciccarelli. Cinderelli? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to butcher your name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize.
If you're new to our episodes, we basically break down the books into a synopsis in the beginning. We give our individual ratings, and then we move to our favorite and hated parts at the very end, but we give a warning before then.
If you want to follow along with us, our reading and review schedule will be linked in the description below.
Without further ado,
let's jump into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to our show. We're kind of just going to be spitting out random shit today. As you can see, look at my nice stickers.
You do have some.
I did some nice stickers. If you could see, I got like Reese in his naked form right here.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy man.
Kristen was like, what's the most outrageous Reese sticker that I could stick on the back of my laptop?
Yeah, I got it.
Him kneeling on the bed, just a sheet.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Funny thing was, I wasn't going to put that there, but I needed something to put there. And I was just like, I got these cute ass Carden and Jude, and then I got like Poppy and Castile over here being all cutesy wootsy, and bam, motherfucker on the bed and naked, just the way I like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was tortured and tormented.
Yeah,
in his
he
dream
woke up
that
from
night.
a bad dream.
Yeah.
Kristen's like, yes, this right here, this image.
Yes.
Put it on my laptop.
Yeah. For the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
See?
I love it. I'm jealous. My sticker game is not as good. I need to update my shit.
Well, she gave me this one, and this is like one of my favorite scenes from Blood and Ash. So yeah, my beautiful sticker in case I think about getting another case and putting different stickers on it.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like interchange it with the moon. I'm gonna have like a dark one.
Yes.
Like a cutesy wootsy one. Yeah,
this is
great
my
idea.
cutesy wootsy one. I like it.
With a dash of smut.
A
dash of tortured rice sand.
Yeah. He's always tortured though. He's a tortured soul.
He is. Yeah.
Except when he's eating soup.
Oh my god. It's so cringy. It's horrible. It's funny because everybody is so like just gobbling the ACOTAR books up. I mean, they did. I mean, I know it's kind of a phase now. We've sort of now moved on to like Onyx Flame or whatever the fuck the new one is.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Like, even when I was reading it the first time, I've told this to you 1,000 times. Like, like that first book wasn't like this all like life changing thing. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the second book was, but like I don't know. I they're good books. Don't get me wrong, but there are definitely a lot of other books. And if it's a gateway drug to your next smut book, great. So be it. I'm gonna give it credit where credit's due for most people, but
that's what I was gonna say. Is that it's so people love it, people are obsessed with it, but man, once you've like entered into this world, there's nothing. Again, it's the second book, but other than that, like nothing there is unique or mind blowing or any. It's nothing that the other books that we've read aren't.
Yeah.
Especially, books that are just as long as that one. I mean, because I feel like One Dark Window does it better.
Oh, I love One Dark Window.
What are some other fives that we had? I'm trying to think. Two Twisted. Oh, that is the One Dark Window series.
Yeah, of course, Manacled. Like, there's a lot of
Manacled does it better. Yeah, like, there's a lot of people who are doing
Alchemized soon.
Yeah, fantasy better.
I even like the From Blood and Ash book 1 better than I like some of those ACOTAR books.
Yeah.
The first book. Because I love From Blood and Ash, but I'm gonna be real. Like, some of those, like, that, I think the third book was really fucking just boring.
Yeah.
But overall, I love the books. But, like, that first book, From Blood and Ash, is my favorite book. Mm-hmm. I love it. And Two Twisted Crowns. Love that fucking book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I even like the Belladonna books. I love those books. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's getting a lot of hype, and it deservingly so for the amount of people rushing to read again. I love that for everybody. Like, I feel like everybody should be reading a good book every now and then. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of books are overshadowed because of that book.
I agree. A lot of books are underrated because of that book.
Mm-hmm.
Underappreciated. I think, again, it does what it does fine, but there are other books in this category that we've covered that just hit it way farther out of the park than ACOTAR did. And again, it's literally just that second book, because if we were to dissect, which we have not and probably will not,
We will,
but
no.
man, the actual war book fucking sucked.
Yeah.
I hated the war. I hated everything about that one, the fucking novella in the middle.
I did not like the novella.
Literally the second one and A Court of Silver Flame. Those are the only ones that I liked out of the series.
Agreed. Agreed.
And that's it. But people are fawning over this, and which makes me hesitant to read the Onyx Storm Flame. I sound like an old lady. Whatever that fucking book is these kids talk about nowadays. I'm scared to read that because everybody fawns over that like they do ACOTAR.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna read them, but
Same.
It's not finished, and I'm just not gonna. I'm like, I heard there's like a major cliffhanger, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. I also read her Throne of Glass series, which was okay. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest book I've ever read. I mean, I think the Gold books are better in my opinion.
Really?
I mean, to a certain degree.
Okay, I was like,
because there's smut in Gold. There's not smut in Throne of Glass. So I was bored in Throne of Glass a lot. Even though I am a fantasy person, if you're gonna tote around some kind of romance, I feel like I want to be an adult about this, and I want some kind of.
Yeah, you can't just.
I want some smut. Like there wasn't enough smut in Throne of Glass for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me to call it a fantasy book with romantasy in it. Maybe it's not. I don't fucking know. I just feel like I wanted to see Rowan do some stuff. Okay, he didn't do enough for me. And also Dorian, like he did a lot. Dorian. But I digress. I get really crazy into these fucking books. I think there's other books that do it better.
Yeah. Well, but that's our hot take if you cared.
Yeah.
What us Damsels After Dark had to say about
ACOTAR. Because first of all, we're probably not going to do it. It's overdone. Yeah. Everybody's doing it, and maybe you guys want us to do it, but I don't know. I don't see a future in us doing it, especially it's not finished, and we're not really good about doing books that are not finished.
Yeah, and that is a big book series, and who knows when she's going to end it, because it's A Court of Silver and Flames, I must have read like 4 years ago.
Oh, I think so too. It was a while ago.
And that's, I don't even know, is the fifth, was that one the fourth?
I don't know.
Is the fifth one gonna be the end?
5, 6?
Yeah, is her next book gonna be the end of this? Because if not, then I'm kind of checked out. If there is this much time between the last book, there's no way I'm reading through all your books again.
It's too many. Thing is, like, I'm gonna reread because it's been so long that I don't mind rereading, but like I don't want to reread more than once.
But see, I reread because I wanted to read it with you and I wanted to read it with my other friends. Yeah. And I reread book 1, which was horrible.
I do not like book 1. I've mentioned this a bunch of times. I think I gave that book a 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have read that series if it weren't for you to tell me to put. In fact, I think I mentioned this a billion times. Even the second book, I stopped reading.
Yeah.
My friends had to push me through it to get to Reese because I stopped right at that wedding. Yeah. Sorry, spoilers, guys.
I mean, everybody's been talking about this book, so if you haven't read it yet, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyways, now let's go on to another great fantasy book.
I like this book.
I like this book too.
I could not get enough of this fucking book. I loved it. I ate it up like a starved individual.
Yes. Me too.
Actually. I was starved when I read this book.
Okay.
Like we were going through our books, and this was one of those books I read right after. I don't remember what I was reading, but like I felt like it was the beginning of our season, and I wasn't getting enough of what I wanted, and I read this book.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, I finally am satisfied with what I'm reading first. So.
That's good. Yeah, I think I remember when you were reading this.
Yeah, I was super excited. Yeah. It wasn't part of our show list yet when I read it.
Yeah. I was not stoked because I'm just coming off of the Rivaled Crown.
Yeah.
Or not the Rivaled Crown. The Hunted Heir.
Or the Veiled Kingdom.
And the Veiled Kingdom. So I was full. And I still really like this. I don't think it wasn't hitting. But see, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't need to be hitting in all the romance areas if you're hitting in other areas. And so other parts of this were really good. The romance was still pretty good, but I like this book. I like the concept of this book is just wonderful. It's like a warm blanket. It just heats my soul.
It is a warm blanket that burns you at the end.
Yeah.
If fucking.
Kristen's suffering a little bit, having to relive this again.
I read this book twice, and I love it. But I guess we should jump in the summary real quick.
Yeah. So essentially, the summary is this rich, wealthy, aristocratic girl. She's living up her socialite life, but in the nighttime,
She's Batman.
She's Batman, which is the perfect
Batman.
metaphor for her. She's the Crimson Moth, and she's going underground, and she's breaking out these fucking witches who have been entrapped by this good commander who him and his rebellion stormed the witches, the queen, killed all of the queen witches who ruled at the time, and then made it his mission to like eradicate all of the witches in the world. It's been like 2 years since they took down the main witches, and so the book essentially just follows the one witch who is a secret witch, who's our main character, Rune, and she's the Crimson Moth who's going and breaking all of these people out, as I said. But then we also get a POV from a blood guard who is like the main one of the top commanders within these ranks. And essentially they meet each other, they're both trying to use each other to uncover secrets that they have, or well, essentially he's using, I don't think it's that much of a spoiler, using her to find the Crimson Moth, and she is the Crimson Moth, and she's using him so that she can get more data and more information on where they're hiding these girls, where they're getting them from. And so this push-pull of them using each other is sort of what's driving this book, because of course they're both beautiful and they're both hot and they're both like falling, but also not knowing if they're falling because they are using each other, so the lines are super blurred the entire time. It's great.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. Also to mention, this is a young adult, so you're not going to get that intense, spicy, explicit sexual stuff that you want. I mean, I did want it, but it's young adult, so you got to remember that while you're reading this. Enemies to lovers trope is pretty strong in this, but in a young adult type of enemies to lovers. Like, I don't like saying enemies to lovers and adult and then not get that strong enemies to lovers, because it's adult themed. It should be more explicit and raw and raunchy. Whereas in young adult, you're going to get the more of an enemies to lovers tamer version of that. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Every time I see a young adult, I'm not expecting it to go whole out like fucking trigger warnings, because it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
It's a young adult for a reason. It is a recently completed duology, so the Rebel Witch has been out for like I think a month now. So definitely, if you like this book, pick that up so you can continue right into, because you're gonna want to. The content warning is just violence, and there's, in my opinion, I have to say this because it might trigger some people. There's cutting in this book, and it's not cutting to end life. It's not cutting for I don't know how. It's very. There's cutting. There's I would say self-harm, but not self-harm to do self-harm. But it's cutting. Yeah. So, but it's related to a magic system. And that's not necessarily a spoiler, so it's talked about right at the beginning, but it's meant to be associated with the magic system, but that could still trigger people into thinking certain things and feeling a certain way if that's something that bothers you. Just know that that's in here. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's basically, as Crystal says, it's just a witch trying to save her counterparts and outsmart the I don't say the kingdom, the blood guards, fucking
the good commander and his men.
Yeah, because it's not a king. No, that's what's strange about it. It's not a king in a kingdom. The good commander is such a weird way of saying it too, but that's what they call him. Their leader. But yeah. Want to just jump into the ratings?
Yeah, we can do it.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first this time. This book I rated a 4.5. I think that it didn't hit the 4 for me because it is young adult, and so I wanted more adult elements, and we almost got it, but it just never quite fulfilled that thing. Like, this book is so good, but yeah, the fact that it's young adult, I think, holds it back a little bit from like its greatness that it could have been. Yeah. It could have been raunchier. It could have been gorier. It could have been.
I would love that.
More like raw.
Yeah, I would have loved that. I would have loved it.
So that's why I figured it was adult. 5s across the board, but it felt like it was held back, and like it was like softer. Yes. And I don't want softer, especially in this story, because let me just tell you, the setting of this book, the concept of this book, we got this witch, and I'm just gonna go. I don't think it's a spoiler to talk about the magic, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
It's not. I don't think so.
So like the concept of how their magic works with blood is like I fucking love this. They're like cutting themselves. Well, so let me back up. The concept of using the blood is like the the strength of each spell and the tiers of spell are based off of the type of blood that you're using. I mean, obviously there's like specific spells within those that you could choose, but if you want a really strong spell, you have to use fresh blood. You have to use blood that's from somebody else. Sometimes given blood is stronger, but then taken blood without consent is like the highest, strongest magic. That is so smart. I love that. But then it corrupts you when you use it. Like, it's beautiful. I fucking love it. And because fresh blood is one that was probably most often used by regular witches, because it's like the medium tier, I would say, they cut themselves to get the blood and to use it, but they don't just like cut themselves because it leaves like a scar. So they do like these intricate patterns. Like, I fucking love this.
Yeah, like tattoos. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And it, like, most of them do it based off of who they are. The Rosebud Queens, the ones that form her, they actually were moving flowers on themselves, and it's beautifully done because they represent who they are and they're proud of it.
Yes,
they were proud of it.
And I love that that's the tell for how they spot them now, because that was what they did. They didn't hide that they were witches because the witches were ruling, but now that the witches aren't, they're being hunted. It's hard to hide these casting scars that they were once so proud of. Like, that is just
was gorgeous, right?
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I love how they have to hunt them down too, and then like, of course, what they do is they like rip the clothes off. This isn't a spoiler, by the way. They rip the clothes off the women to see, like, they rip the shirts off. Some of them, they were parading around naked.
Yep.
And how they even, okay, I don't want to say the spoiler of this, but what they did to these witches is absurd and obscene.
How they kill them?
Yes.
Yes, I loved it.
It's part of the story, and I love how it's told. So it is gruesome, but it's still gruesome in a young adult fashion.
And it makes sense.
Yes.
Like, it just works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Brilliantly
written.
Brilliantly
written.
Yes.
And I love that there's this, like, again, this dynamic of this good commander that led the rebellion, and now he's got his blood guards that are hunting. Like, so now I'm reading a story about witch hunters. Like, I love it. And it's also set in some obscure Victorian time. Yeah. I don't know when the time is, but that's okay. I don't need to know.
No.
I know that there's gas lanterns and there's some electricity. That's all I need to know.
There's carriages.
Yeah. Like, it's the perfect time setting. It's like some Victorian shit in my mind. I love it.
It's beautiful. It's like, and that makes sense too, because it beautifully goes with the gothic scene of the witch time. And the aristocrat time where they're like having to call on each other. I still love that.
Where they have like, the calling on each other, and then the like ribbons to dance, the dancing ribbons that they have to go. Like, I fucking love it. I don't know why, but everything about this is just so perfect.
Yeah, perfectly done.
I love this amazing FMC. She's pretending to be this ditzy aristocrat, so that she can put on a show. She can put on a front so that nobody suspects who she is. I think she does it well. I think she plays the dumb girl well, and she's like supposed to be really into fashion, but also she kind of is. Yeah, so she's like fawning over stuff while pretending that that's not who she is. Like, I love her. There's a couple moments where she, like, you know, the author wants you to believe that she's smart and all of this, and that just is pretending, but the way that she shows how she bests her opponents sometimes were just great. Yeah. I think
it's not just told, it's shown.
It's shown. Yeah. It's shown. And I thought it was done brilliantly and pretty smart, and it got me going, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. And you don't even know yet.
You don't even know.
It's revealed when she does it. So it's like, oh, she held that back for us.
Like, yes.
I loved it.
Because you're oftentimes in his POV when he's getting got. And
you're like,
oh.
She done get you. She played you.
I'm applauding her back
there.
I
did too, girl. I was like, oh, this is my hero.
Yeah, so that got it for me. Let's see.
I cannot wait for the spoilers.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
I was like a man POV, and we get the grumpy guard's POV, and his internal monologue with her internal monologue, and them both sort of like dealing with the intricacies of their game against each other. I really liked, because it was sometimes hard to tell where the line was for each of them or what their intention was, but it was nice to see internally their thoughts, and I thought that was done really well. I think that's pretty much it. Overall, just fucking great. I loved every part of this. The witches, the blood magic, the betrayals, the bitter endings. Like, everything was wonderful. If only I could have got. Yeah, it was adult. If only, because I mean, even I guess it's enemies to lovers in that they are actually enemies. Yeah. Like, on paper, maybe not face to face, but on paper they're enemies. But then you have this like dynamic too of where she's the wealthy rich one and he's the
Yes.
poor guard, and they're butting heads, but it's more on his side and like because he's dealing with his own. I could go on and on, and
He's
I will
a tortured
go on and
soul.
on.
Like,
he is a tortured soul.
I love the tortured soul MMC. You cannot take that from me and think that like I'm not gonna enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Yes, and you get his POV.
Oh, I love it.
And he's dealing with like, oh wow, she's beautiful, but I'm no. And then you get this dynamic with him and his brother and her, and it's just so good. It's like
my downfall. That is my downfall. The love, because there's a love triangle in here with the brothers, and it's just, it is too much for me to bear sometimes. It's beautifully written. It's well done. I applaud.
And I like to see the struggle with it. Like he's not just like fuck this or fuck that. He's like, they're both dealing with stuff within that triangle, and I thought that was depicted well. So.
What about your spice?
0.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sexual tension. There is like a moment of spice, but it's not spicy.
Yeah.
It's closed doored pretty much. But yeah, overall, just phenomenal. Great book.
Yeah. I was so excited you love this book. Because like, I was wondering, I was like, I love this book. And I was reading it when, like I said, when I was deprived of all the things that I wanted. And so I'm reading it, I'm like, I fucking love this. And so when we were reading it, you know, you talked about wanting to read it for the show. I was like, oh my god, thank God, because I want to reread. Because the second book wasn't out yet when I was gonna reread, and I was like, I want to reread this so bad to see if I really liked it after rereading the Veiled Kingdom and stuff like that. So yeah, I read the Veiled Kingdom, The Hunted Heir, and then I read this, and I was like, oh yeah, I still fucking love this. In fact, I was more emotional the second time around because of things that aren't spoilers. I don't want to say yet. But yes, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because. I wanted more, like Crystal was saying, I wanted more of the violence, I wanted more of the gore. But you know what? Deep down, I did not, like, I was just like, I envisioned it the way I wanted to anyways. I was just like, it still gave me the gore with the way things were happening, going down with the witches. It still gave me the sexual tension that I liked, even though it wasn't as strong. I still felt all of it, and it still was perfectly written. I don't think, besides more of the things that she was already dabbling in with the author, like putting in like their tension and stuff like that, more maybe the sexual raunchiness of it. Other than that, like I don't think it was written bad at all. Like I think everything was written perfectly done. The plot was great, the story, everything was great and perfect for me. Other than just a tad bit more. So I can understand why that 0.5 was just kind of like there for you. I get it. But yeah, I can't say enough about this book. This is fucking great.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say why I gave it a 5 out of 5. The FMC and the MMCs, their tension between them is just fucking off the page. Like even without the adult content of it, I was feeling it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's certain parts where they collide without knowing they're colliding, or they kind of are suspecting the other person's colliding with them. It was just like, I was like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? I was so anxious and just like excited. I was like, could not put the book down. Magic is unique, which we talked about. I love the whole way the magic system works, and how you take the blood decides on how the magic is casted and wielded and what it does to the person. So I love that whole thing because it's very unique. That doesn't happen in a lot of books. It's just magic just happens, or it comes within. It's not like there's no sacrifice. In this, there's a sacrifice.
And I don't think we talked about either how the magic is done, like drawing runes.
Yeah.
And having to remember all these runes.
Yeah.
And that's how you cast the spell.
So you use the blood for like the runes. Like you don't just like cut yourself and blood just is used. No, like you still have to go through the motions of casting.
Of like dipping your finger and writing a rune exactly correct. And there are a couple instances where like they're bound and they can't write.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool.
Because that's how the humans were able to overtake. Because like right off the beginning, you already know that the blood queens or the rosebud queens were overtaken. So like how does that happen if they're so powerful, right? Well, you find out it's because of those things that they were vulnerable, and the humans that were witches who overtook the kingdom were able to do it in their vulnerable state. Like you'll find out later down the road how that was to happen. But like if their hands are bound and they don't have blood, they can't cast. And so they're just like everybody else, even maybe so more vulnerable. So like they're still held to certain ways of being able to have power. But there also is signatures, not just their scars on them, but when they cast, their signature pops up.
That's so
like
cool.
it's fucking great. So like the Crimson Moth, when she does anything, the red Crimson Moth will pop up. That's how she got her name. So anytime she casted a spell near any of the scenes of the crime, there was her fucking what's it called? Her calling card.
Casting.
Yeah, her casting whatever. But yeah. It's like you could, and also there's a scent. There's a scent of the magic. So like it's brilliant. I feel like that magic system could not be praised praised enough. It's fucking wonderful. The backstory of how the witches fell is fantastic, but you don't get the whole story here. You only know that the Gideon, the MMC, was part of it, and so was his brother Alex. You don't quite know. They keep it very to themselves. You just know that there was trauma. There was trauma there. The cliffhanger. There's a cliffhanger in this book. It drives me wild because I was so upset and I had to wait. I didn't have to wait long. Luckily, I only had to wait like a week.
It's still hard though.
It was rough for me, and so I just reread anyway. So great. I can't give any more away without talking about spoilers, so we'll just wait for the spoilers. But I gave it like a 0.5. I wouldn't even say it's spicy. I would say it's like a jalapeno pepper or a bell pepper spicy. You know what I mean? It's like there was one scene, and the only reason I say this is because there was like one scene in particular where they do it, but it's closed doors, but it's not quite closed doors, so you know what's happening. It's just like vaguely like written and described, like you know what's going on, but it's just like, oh, his hands touch me here and stuff like that.
It's not graphic at all.
It's not graphic at all. I want the graphic. I wanted the graphicness so much. Like this is what I'm talking about, why I don't read a whole lot of young adult, because like
all that build up
and you're just getting this like kind of told story. It's like, I don't know. It's so like watered down of a story of how they get together. I mean, maybe that's a spoiler that people are getting together. I don't know. But like the spice in it is not. It's not there. It's just not. But the tension's there. There's a couple scenes there that just get close to that, where that build up, but it's like, I just want more.
Yeah.
But it's still overall 5 for me. Definitely young adult. Like this whole book screams young adult though.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I did not fucking care.
It is violent and it is gory in its own way, but yeah, everything else is just sort of tame. Because I think the way that they kill or talk about killing was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like a watered down, muted version of just trying to it's like how you tell your kids at night how somebody fucking died or something. Yeah. Like you're not giving the gory details of these things.
Yeah, but I didn't get like blood splashed in my face and on the pavement. It was just like, this happened and we did this. And
yeah. But it was still a good story.
It was still a really great story.
I loved it. I enjoyed every bit of it.
It's wonderful. I agree. I loved it. Love. So happy to have another like top tier duology. Yeah. It's been a while. It's been literally since One Dark Window. I think, right? Was that the last?
And I like this book. This series overall, I think I like One Dark Window more, which is funny because I rated it lower. But I like this series more, only because I feel like it didn't stop with what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Like, so sometimes One Dark Window like made me feel like I was lacking in certain things, like the card system. Like the magic system is perfect here.
Yeah. Oh, it's everything.
Yeah.
Just clips right into place.
She like she details it. I have nothing, like I have no more needs or wants after the series. So like everything was completed for me.
Yeah.
But in like One Dark Window, I was just like, I want more of this. I want more of that. Like where I feel like there needs to be spinoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think you're right.
And that's the only reason why I gave it 1 point lower, is because like I just wanted. But you know, if I'm comparing the two books, I would still reread One Dark Window.
Just to get to
Twisted Crown. Because of Elm. I love Elm.
Just to get to Twisted Crown.
Yeah. But like I like this because it got more action and more suspense.
I agree. So Goodreads, with 213,000 reviews, gave it a 4.19, which was great.
Yeah.
I think that's a score it deserves.
Yeah, I agree.
We did, of course, pull off the 1 stars. And I pulled two are kind of lengthy, but I think the very last one, she makes some interesting points, and I'd like to talk about it. But We will start with Charlotte's. She says, top 10 worst books I've ever read. That's insane. She said this was like if a book was playing a romantic fantasy in a musical. It was a satire of itself. I think the author thought all of her readers were 5 because there's no nuance or depth in this book. The author didn't trust her readers or characters enough. What do you mean? Obviously, she's not the Crimson Moth because she doesn't seem intelligent enough for that. Are you dumb? I wanted to DNF this book so bad, but I pushed through so I could give it a 1 star. Hot, lukewarm take. Enemies to lovers only truly works when there are multiple books. Another hot take is that romantic fantasy books are best on Kindle. A waste of my February book of the month. It was so bad it was physically painful to read. That's intense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she grasped. Like, she's pretending to be dumb. That was the whole point. That's why she didn't think she was the Crimson Moth.
Yeah, I think she's saying that it was, like, the excuse that she's not the Crimson Moth because she's dumb wasn't a good enough excuse for him to not think she was the Crimson Moth.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think that point makes no sense because he thinks, okay, for 2 years, this is right at the beginning of the book, 2 years he was outsmarted by her.
Yes. I think
so. He didn't think that this stupid socialite who doesn't even want to get her skirt dirty is willing to be the Crimson Moth.
Or could outsmart him.
Yeah. And so the whole point is he thinks he's better than her.
Yes.
That's the whole point of this.
Yes.
And so that's why, like, it's not that he's dumb. It's just, well, I guess he is really. But the whole point was him overlooking her.
Yeah, I didn't think that it was a weak point in the story that he didn't, because he did consider it.
Yeah,
in fact, that's why he was there, and he was constantly back and forth like, I don't really think that she would, but then she would show her brilliance, and he was like
sparks of it.
Yeah,
she would show,
and he'd be like, and then she'd be like, oh shit, I was acting too smart.
Yeah,
and he'd be like, maybe she is a Crimson Moth. I don't know.
Yeah, see about her getting naked.
Yeah. So I don't ever think at any point he completely dismissed her because she was dumb.
Yeah.
I think maybe right off the bat, like, in the far reaches before he even considered her, she was not on his list. But once she was on the list, and he was like, well, I'll go pretend. Like, he never once just dismissed her because she wasn't smart enough.
Yeah,
I think that's a dumb. Sorry, I don't want to say dumb. I think that's a shallow breakdown of what actually transpired in the story.
Yeah, I don't agree with this. I don't. Yeah, obviously I don't. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Right off the bat with the top 10 worst books I have ever read, this does not beat. What's that fucking book I hate?
I hate a lot of books. I hate Uprooted.
Uprooted, there it is.
I hate Projections. I hate. I could go fucking on. I hate Tomorrow.
There is no way.
I hate The Wicked Kingdom. I hate. There's so many books to hate on that I could list.
There's no way this is
not one of them.
No way.
Sure. For sure. I mean, I don't know. Curious what other books Charlotte is reading.
Yeah, actually, she's left. We should go look.
I always feel like that when people give 1-star books to books that are, in my opinion, thoroughly written well.
Yeah. I'm
curious as to what they view as 5 stars. I want to see that. You know, what your 1 stars are and what your 5 stars are. Yeah. I want to see that difference. I want to understand your
criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Books and Crafts says, yep, this one is going to be a DNF. I am very sad about it too, but I tried one last time today to get into it, and I can't get past the collection of period blood for spells and a plot that has been done 100 times. I do not understand the hype. I saw this criticism a lot. People were not into the period blood, and I'm just thinking to myself,
I don't think that's the reason I hate the book.
I don't think I don't.
She had no other way to use blood.
It's not like it was woven in there to be gross or to be, and it's like it wasn't even like talked about all that much.
No, I didn't honestly think about it once it happened. Yeah, she was carrying vials of blood around, but I think it was her way. I mean, obviously, how else is she going to get blood?
It made sense to the story that she would do that, and like if you're so put off with period blood, I think that's an internal thing, especially if you're a woman and you are the one who's doing it. Like, really, how are you so grossed out that you can't even
period blood?
I mean, like.
It's your blood.
It's your own blood. Like, I mean, I'm not collecting it and, like, playing in it, but if I was a witch and I needed to, I would have no problem doing that.
Girls, please don't read dark romance.
Yo, like, I just went from Fairy Tale where this man slurped it up with a straw.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. Also, Leave Me Behind has a little bit of that in there, too, so...
So, you know, you're taking your own blood and you're drawing runes with it? I mean, I know. I've read far worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how that's an issue.
Yeah, I was surprised.
It just
actually,
like you said, I think it's more of them having weirdness with their own period blood.
Yeah, but I was just really surprised by how many people. It was a lot of the people who did not like it. Also, all plots have been done 1,000 times before.
Yeah,
every single
fantasy book stems from another fantasy book that has another fantasy book. If there's a trope, it's a trope that's been done 1,000 times. I've said this so many times. obviously, if you read sci-fi books, those things are all going to be the same. I mean, things are going to be all done. It's very hard to find a true unique book that doesn't have anything that comes from something else. Even with music, even with art. Like, some has always been inspired by something else. I mean, it's an art form.
And the thing is, the plot is the same, but what makes it different is how you craft a different narrative around that plot. And this blood magic, and this using the period blood, and this casting scars, these casting signatures is what it was. All the things that you don't like, those were the things that made it unique, that made the plot, yes, remained the same, but the uniqueness came out in other ways.
And that was the things that they didn't like. So obviously, if you didn't like it, you're not going to like the book.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess that's your fair rating, you know, whatever. But I feel like that's not right. Obviously, I wrote it 5 stars. But
okay, so this last one is long. I'm going to read it because I did think that it was interesting. And I think that she actually makes a really good point here. Or he. Sorry, I don't know. I'm assuming. This is from Arc. And they say, let me get the most important thing out of the way. The witch and witch hunter's dynamic in this book is so clearly inspired by Nazi Germany and their bigotry towards Jews that it is insane that no one else is talking about it. It would be fine if the witch hunters were framed as the villains, but they aren't. Because our love interest and second POV character is literally one of their top dogs, and he 100% agrees with their views. He does not change his stance. He is a bigot, true to the bone. Him being abused by a witch does not justify him systematically hunting down witches, hanging them by their ankles, and slowly bleeding them out like pigs without trial, proof of guilt, or any form of defense. They are stripped and brutalized before they are publicly killed, and it's fucking disgusting that he isn't being challenged harder on his views. I think this is actually a really good point.
It's a valid point. You could associate this with anything that you feel that is upsetting to you in your heart, if that's how you want to view it. I mean, you could find association with anything. Mm-hmm. This is clearly about a witch and a witch hunter. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to view it as and see it as, sure. But I don't think there was clear indications that this was about Jews.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the influence of it.
Yes, but you could use that with any association with anything. I mean, and I think that's your just personal view. That's how you relate to the story.
And the straight witch hunting that actually went down.
I mean, you can even go with actual women in Salem.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. You don't, I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say this is a stretch, because it's not necessarily a stretch, it's what you relate with and you associate it with. I can get that's how you want to feel relatable to the story. But I think that is a stretch and pointing it strictly, specifically for Jews, because not once in there did it say this was inspired by the Jewish community being taken. And I like I said, that did happen, transpire with the Jews and Nazis. I'm not saying that didn't. I'm just saying that I feel like it's a stretch to relate this and associate with it, because you could associate this with anything relatable to your circumstance that mimics this. Yeah. And sure, that does sound very similar to this. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying that that's not the case for this. This is clearly Witch and Witch Hunter. Yeah. And a fictional story. That kind of probably pulls from reality. I'm not saying it doesn't. I don't know if that is what the author intended to write it closely as. I'm just saying I did not see that. Yeah. I did not see this specifically geared towards like the story of the Jews and Nazi Germany. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that also. But I will say, I think that she makes a good point with Gideon, because I did feel this way about Gideon, and this is the one struggle that I have about like fawning over him completely, is that I don't like that he is very much okay with things that they're doing. Yeah. That he very much is bigoted. And we get a reason why. Yeah. And I see his reason why. Yeah. Because when you hear his backstory, I was really upset about it. But there was something that's in my not liked parts that he was saying some shit and I highlighted and I'm like, this is gross. Yeah. This idea that he has about, and I can't give away because we're not in the spoiler section, but he has some idea about taking rights of people away. And it grossed me out, and it made me see into his mind and how he thinks. And that's why I liked this comment, because I think that's true. Nobody's really challenging him. She's not. She's just sort of fawning for him while he is the head of this bigotry, while he is okay with ripping these witches out, hanging them by their feet, and treating them like pigs. So it's hard to get fully behind an MMC who's doing this, because yes, I like my MMCs unhinged, but this is, it goes off on an odd angle here, and so it's hard, and I think that's why the other character is there to sort of be the balance to him. Mm-hmm. But then at the end of the day, I'm still kind of wondering how I'm going to come back and be all super Gideon when there's this trail behind him.
Yeah, I agree. I was not 100% into Gideon in this book. Mm-hmm. Mine was totally Alex. Mm-hmm. I was 100% into Alex in this book. I liked the tension between her and Gideon. I liked it, but I couldn't get it out of my head how this guy is clearly doing shit as her enemy, and like without giving spoilers, like she's doing this to thwart him in every way, shape, or form because he is a bad guy in this book. But it's with, and like I like this. I agree with the person who wrote this comment. I feel like it isn't an excuse and a justification for how he treats innocent. Because there are people who are bad and there are people who are good in this book, obviously. It's not a reason to treat other and all people like this. Not everybody's like the way he was mistreated. So I agree with that part. I 100% agree with he should be challenged on his views and he should be pushed. And why not it be, without giving spoilers, why not it be the people who are close to him?
Like Alex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like I had a little issue with that as well. But he also talks about it. It comes up in the story as you go through the story, but you have to read the story. I think this person DNF'd it. I can't remember. No, they didn't DNF it. Somebody else did. But yeah, you have to like read through the story to find out why and all that stuff is that even his close people kind of just like, I want to say gave up on him. But yeah, like that is essentially what happened. So he's running around doing his thing and he's not listening to anybody. So, sure, he probably was put on the spot, but you got to remember, this is a community right now that hates witches. Now, he's not the only one. Everybody does. So, like...
There's nobody
going to challenge him, and anybody who does challenge it is going to look like a sympathizer.
Yes, and she can't really challenge him because, one, she's trying to play this game with him, but also she's viewed as, like, the daughter of the revolution or whatever because she turned her grandmother in, which is not a big spoiler because to tell you it's right in the beginning. Yeah. So she already has this air around her, and he's already suspicious of her. So the only other person who could challenge this idea is Alex, which is his brother. But like,
he's still got to be careful because he's willing to like put anybody under the bus.
He's Rune's best friend. Yeah. So he's not really trying to like stir up situation. So I do like this point. I think it's an interesting point. I think it's something good talking point. Yeah. I think you should keep it in your mind because 100% he is this way, but yeah, nobody is there to really do it. As Kristen said, everybody around him supports it, and those who can question him will only look suspicious. Because even being a sympathizer gets you thrown in jail and gets you tortured. You can't even give money to the homeless babies, children that are on the street.
They're marked. Like, all this stuff isn't spoilers, guys. It's right in the beginning. Yeah. My main thing about this, my taking point of this, is not that I disagree, like this person's comment. I just think I just feel like it's not completely specifying Jews. You know, that's because that's what they're saying. This is clearly inspired.
Yeah, she was saying that.
Sure, it can be, but everybody else can associate with something else. My takeaway on this is, if this is happening in the real world, and for instance, this story is inspired by it, wouldn't you want this to be more vocalized? Wouldn't you want a story like this to come out and be more vocalized so people can talk about it? So I don't think you should be rating it low just because of that. I feel like talking points like this need to come about, and sometimes fiction inspires people to rally and talk about it and to address those issues. So I think giving it a 1-star specifically because you feel like it associates with an issue that was in the past, even not something that's not happening specifically now, like and like on grand terms. Like, sure, it's happening as bigotry and stuff like that's like happening now, but like, I feel like because of fiction that's being written and inspired by true events, even if you believe this to be the case, I feel like it should be definitely written and talked about more. I don't feel like that should be, because it's like this, I wanted a 1-star because it should stop happening. It's not, this book isn't written to glorify these things. It's written in the idea that it needs to stop. Yeah. So, like, that's how I feel. I think it should...
I agree. I think that she sees it because the love interest is that way, that it comes off as glorifying it. But I don't think that we finished the book yet. And so I don't think that we can say that... And this is first of all, this is 2 years after it's even happened. So we're still fairly fresh within this world. And you haven't finished the book yet. And I also haven't finished the book yet. So who knows what Gideon's redemption arc looks like in the next book.
And I also don't think that it is looked upon as he's the love interest yet. Because this is a guy she's just trying to get intel from. It's not clearly written that he is specified as the love interest. I mean, maybe it does and maybe it doesn't, but you don't know. And even when you are reading the book, if you read the whole book, you would know that he's not quite the love interest as a whole. Yes. Like, he isn't the only guy that she's like... and it's not meant for her. She's tormented. Like,
they don't end up together at the end, essentially.
So
I mean, then we're talking about the end of book 1. So who's to say that there's not going to be a redemption arc for him as he discovers who he may or may not be falling for. Yeah. Maybe he has a change of heart. Maybe he discovers some things we don't know yet. We haven't reached that yet. But yes, it is interesting to point out that I do see that it could suggest that if you're viewing it that way. But if you finish the book, then you would know that he is not the main love interest. And like, there's a sweeter person who's hanging around in the back who's doing other things.
Yeah, and who is actually seen as the better person. Yes. In my opinion. And that's,
by everybody.
Everybody.
Including the 2 main characters.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of... I mean, I feel like this is somebody who's, like, when you're writing this comment, I think your feels. You're in your feels, and I understand. I understand. I get it. I completely understand that you're in your feels. Because what is happening to the witches in this book is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
And I completely agree. That is disgusting. And anybody who agrees with that viewpoint and thinks that that's how they should be handling innocent people should not be praised. And he isn't praised in this book. Maybe he's praised by those people.
But that's
community.
all who's surrounding him.
Yeah. So
and you can't not say it or else you're a witch sympathizer. So that's why nobody's saying anything.
Exactly. So it all goes back in circles.
It does. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It's a good talking point.
Good talking point.
Yeah.
But wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel the rating isn't fair.
The rating isn't fair. The talking point is great. The 1 rating, I don't know.
Yeah. I think they're in their feels, and I get it.
Yeah, I agree. But now...
Ooh, our favorite part.
Our favorite parts, which is the spoilers. Do you want to go first for the spoilers?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I love this book. I'll try not to do too much. A lot. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just hit main points. Rune finding the loophole. Everybody, like you were saying in the spoilers, everybody was getting upset about the period blood, but I found it was genius. I found that their loophole to the scarring and the cutting so that she didn't get found was genius.
Yes.
So in the beginning, she didn't have any scarring. She wasn't determined a witch yet because she found out she was a witch, which is another favorite part of mine. She found out she was a witch at Alex's 16th birthday party, and her grandma was already passed away, so she didn't have any scarring. So it was already at 16 years old, finding out she's a witch. Instead of using her witch powers to cut herself, she found a loophole at 16 to use her period blood. And okay, grown ass women in the comments saying that they were kind of icked by it, and the 16-year-old who decided that she was not going to be icked by it, in my opinion, sound like a brave ass woman. At 16, finding a loophole.
Yes.
To be the Crimson Moth to save other witches. If using your period blood is what it took to save other women, I'm about to use my period blood, your period blood, every other mother.
Collecting all the women.
That's what she did. Yes. That's what she does. And I think that's, in my opinion, how great. Other more powerful can you possibly be than using the only blood that comes from you as a woman to... Whatever. I think it's poetic.
I thought it was poetic too. I thought it was beautiful.
I don't know.
It was great.
Yeah. And then the Crimson Moth, the signature... The casting signatures?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Love the casting signatures. Yeah, everything was just so good.
I know. So Gideon and Rune's experience with the drinking, they're trying to like do this push and pull, like testing each other's boundaries, seeing where the other person is willing to, how far they're going to go to test each other. Because they're both suspicious of each other and they're both like trying to like outdo the other. It's like a game of flirt chicken, you know? Who's gonna go farther? But anyways, she ends up, because she's trying to like, she casted a spell on his wine to get him to tell the truth, but he doesn't drink wine. So she ended up drinking it. She's like trying not to tell the truth of masking her own self. It's fucking funny. And because he's like, why didn't you drink that one? So like, she had to drink it. So anyways, she's like pushing him, and he's like getting closer and closer, touching her, and then like he's about to kiss her, and she's like, oh my god, he's too good at this. Like he's better at it than I am. I was like, oh, she can't do it, so she spills wine on his father's like
vintage suit
like,
jacket,
handmade, tailor-made fucking jacket. And so that was fucking funny. She thought to herself, she's like, oh my god, he's better at this than I am. He's outdoing me. So she's like, I gotta get better at this, you know. Oh my god. Okay, Alex. This guy, I've never fell for an MMC that was solely like golden retriever, fawning over her sweetly kind of guy. But I think it's because you got Gideon, who's this trash in one end and great in the other. Like he gives you that tortured like, but he's a piece of shit, like purely piece of shit. He's definitely morally gray.
Yeah.
And then you got Alex, who's completely like into her, does everything for her, loves her, and the exact moment that you know this is when she talks about her 16th birthday, when she finds out she's a witch. And she's at his birthday party in the bathroom. She finds out, she gets her period. Blood is black, and it's like seeping in everything. She's stripping naked, and he's just like, Moon, what the hell's going on? And like he's there taking care of her. He's running her bath, giving her tea. And she thinks that he's gonna turn her in, and he's like, no, I would never. And like he's just like taking care of her. And there's like so many times where he's trying to tell her how he feels, and then he just gets interrupted. And you could feel the tension. You could feel that. He's just like And Gideon's such an asshole because he tells him, like, you just don't have the balls to tell her how you feel. And it's like, you're an asshole. Like, he's trying to be there for her. Whatever, Gideon. Fuck you.
Also, he wasn't wrong either.
Yeah. Yeah, like, whatever. Like, fuck you, but I like you still. But fuck you.
Yeah.
I get this back and forth between the brothers, the way I feel is fucking great. It just gives me that feeling the whole time. Like Alex is there to save her ass all the time, constantly. Like anytime she's in a predicament, he's there. He's her alibi, everything. Just this guy is fucking fantastic. The back and forth entrapment with Gideon and Rune. There's that. You all know what scene.
Yeah.
That scene where Gideon fakes, like, first of all, he gets her naked to get her measurements and tells her where.
Not naked. He just got her stripped down to her underwear.
He gives her fake locations of where Serafina is.
Yeah.
He's brilliant, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But she too is.
Yeah.
So he gives her fake location. She goes there. They end up in this like tussle in the water, and like he grabs her. He's like, "Gotcha!" And he like grabs her. Oh shit! Like there's like that whole scene is just like
she stabs him in the leg.
Yeah. And she's like, he takes it out. And, oh my god! Anyway, and then she gets like shot by Lila. And in the arm, and so like now he's like, well, I'm gonna go back to so she rushes back to this ball, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the ball, and I'm gonna arrest her because even if it's not her there, she was the one who was the only one who knew about this, right? And plus he's like looking for the mark to see if she got cut. Anyways, he goes there, and as he's walking in, everybody's just like, oh, hey, Gideon, hope everything went well, and he's like, what the fuck, whatever. So he goes in there, and then Rue just rushes over to him, and she's like, oh my god, did everything go okay? And she's like, I was telling everybody about it. He's like, what? She's like, I told everybody at the luncheon. He's like, who was at the luncheon? She's like, I don't know, like a few dozen.
She's like, oh, was I not supposed to?
Oh, stupid me, I should have not. And he goes, I'm unsure if she was obtuse or master of deception. She dramatically widened his net of suspects. Is she actively sabotaging me or she's just innocent? Like,
I was worried for her too, because he was like pacing. He was like, I'm gonna find her. I gotta get her away. I'm arresting her tonight. And like, you know she was there. You know she was shot. Her hair's wet. She's bleeding out her arm. I thought he was gonna arrest her. I thought this was where the story was gonna take off.
Yeah.
I was nervous for her. And then she did that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like fucking laughing. And then Alex is like, no, she was with me the whole time. Of course, Alex being the hero that he is. I was just like, oh my god. Gideon is like, what the? I love how he says, is she obtuse? Like, the insult.
Yeah.
The insult on that. He's like, I can't tell if she's sabotaging me or she's just innocent.
I love that.
Oh, it was great. The moment that Rune and Gideon share on the beach when they're skinny dipping, that whole thing goes down. But I like when he takes her back, when like he chases her down, and they get to her place, and she's just like, you didn't. He's like, you didn't interpret that wrong. That's what I wanted to do. And she's like, would you want to come back in? And he's like, no, because then I will go off my prom. I will negate my promise of going slow with you. And she's like, I fucking hate him. Because she wanted it. She fucking wanted it. And it's like, girl, you don't hate him.
She tries.
And then there's another part where Gideon saves him from the fire. And she hasn't seen him in 3 days.
Oh, I love this.
And, yeah, she hasn't seen him in 3 days. And he rescues her. And the first thing she goes is, I don't know what's wrong. I don't understand. You didn't even send me flowers. He's like, do you want flowers? Like, the fuck?
Like, what?
Yeah, she's like, I don't know if I want flowers. I haven't seen from you. I heard from you. Oh my god, I was cracking up. And then, now Gideon was in a fire, and Rune is like freaking out. She's at his apartment, crying on his doorstep. And he's like, Rune? And she goes, oh my God, Gideon, you're safe. She's like, oh my God, you must think I'm a mess. And he's like, no, you're fucking hot. And then they do the deep. But I thought it was so funny. She's like sobbing on his door, pawing at his door. And he's like, Rune? What the fuck you doing here? I thought she died. Like, oh my God. No wonder why he didn't suspect her as a Crimson Moth. This is being fucking ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, right after all this, like, okay, there's a part with Gideon that happens. And so Alex runs away, goes straight to, Rune runs away, goes straight to Alex right after, which I don't really like that. But like, Alex is like, fuck this, I'm out, I can't do this no more, I'm leaving. And he's like, just come with me. He proposes to her, and he like fucking finally lays it all out. He kisses her, and she's just like, well, there's somewhat of a spark there, which fuck you, Rune. But like, he just lays it all on the table, literally, lays her out on the fucking table. He tries real hard, and proposes, and she says yes. And he's like, really? Like, I was like, guy, take it, my man, take it. But like, yeah, like I was just so in love with him so much that I wanted it. I was so torn with this because I wanted him to finally declare his love. He did. She said yes, which, you know what? It made sense for her to be with him.
Yeah.
He was always there for her, loved her, protected her, didn't care what she was doing, who she was, like, he watched, in the way he said it, he's like, I watched all these suitors, and none of them fucking deserved you, but you couldn't see in front of you, could you? Because you don't like that I know who you are and still love you. And I'm just like, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, I also love that he punched the shit out of Gideon.
Yep.
Fuck you, Gideon. But I still love you. But fuck you, Gideon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how Alex saved her one last time at the very end. By allowing her to use her blood. And then saves his brother. This guy is a fucking all-star.
He is.
I love him. Yeah. I hate that he died. I'm bitter about it.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
My fucking heart. My fucking heart.
You had to live through it twice.
Oh, yeah, I did. My poor Alex. I love him. I love him. But yeah, overall, this book was great. There's things that pissed me off that I'll talk about later, but overall this book is great. All those parts are wonderful. I'm sure you would like to indulge on more of the stuff I said. I try to leave a lot. Just wanted to get my main parts in those.
Yeah, I had a couple. Let me see. Oh yeah, you talked about the truth spell. That one was so fucking funny. It was giving me Elm vibes.
Wasn't it?
From the chalice.
Yeah. The opposite though, because she took it instead of him.
Let's see. Okay, so I did like. Okay, so to expand on the part where they're going down the beach. When they're going down the beach, they're having a little back and forth, and Gideon is basically saying to her, like, women like you don't date men like me. Women like you only like extravagant things. You only like things that are gonna play into your social game, that are going to extend your inheritance. He goes on and on. And then she stops him and she's like, one of us thinks ourselves is too good for the other, but it's not me. And she walked by and I was like, damn, that's embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
She just called you on your shit because here you are like, you think you're too good for me, Rune, but you're not. She's like, bitch, you are literally the only one who thinks that you're too good for me. Like, you think you're too smart for me. You think I'm too airy. And I love that because she just got the nail right on the head with that one.
She was right. He had nothing to say about it.
He did not. She walked right past and he was like,
maybe.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was right.
So later on that same trip, he baits her into skinny dipping, which I fucking loved. And then they're like in there, they're getting cozy, they're getting cuddly in the water.
I love this one.
And she kisses him, and he's like kissing her back, but then he thinks about his brother. And I don't know if he was like, I think he was like holding her kind of, but then he like freaked out and dropped this poor girl into the water.
Over, and she's like, oh my God.
And then, she thinks that he didn't want it. And so she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, first of all, she's like getting up out of the water, sputtling water everywhere, coughing. She's like, I'm sorry. I thought that you wanted this. And she starts like running off. And in his mind, he's like, no, I need to chase her and let her know that like I very much wanted that to happen. I just can't, but I wanted it. But then, of course, it ends with your scene where he very much tells her, look, I do want this. I want all of this. I'll take it right now. Yeah, but I can't trust myself. I won't keep my word.
Agreed.
Like, that was great.
I wouldn't trust myself either.
Yeah, no. She didn't. She was like, please come on into my house.
Fuck yeah.
Another thing that I loved, because this was just cracking me up, I love Haro. I love she goes to him and she's like, yo, I think this girl is the Crimson Moth. You need to check her for her casting scars.
Yeah. She was on his side the whole time. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says.
Get her undressed.
Get her naked. Have sex with her.
Well, no, she said you need to check her body for casting scars. So he's like, okay, I will arrange a fitting where she's just in her undies.
Together.
And I'm going to really check. And he really checks and he feels all proud of himself. And he goes back to her. He's like, I checked. She's not it. And she was like, you saw her naked?
Between her thighs.
Yeah, and he was like, no, I didn't see her naked. And she's like, you gotta see her naked because you don't know where they're gonna be. So he's like, okay, let me arrange another scenario, fucking skinny dip, and I'm really gonna look. And there it is, POV. And he's like, she's running on the beach. I'm looking. I'm seeing these fucking scars. Okay, I look. She was naked. She was naked in front of me, and she had no scars. And she's like, "Okay, so you fucked her?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I didn't fuck her." And she's like, "You gotta see between her thighs. You gotta fuck her."
Because that's where I was put him. I was like,
if I was alluding, I would be cutting my inner thighs. And he's like, "Fuck."
You're right. I should fuck her. You know?
I love him just thinking, he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I got it. I did it. They're running back to her just every time.
And I was like, nah, you did it good enough. You need to sex her up.
Yeah, which was what she was implying at the very beginning, that you needed to fuck her so you could see it all. He was like trying every other way to weasel out of it. And he just couldn't do it. I thought that was so funny. It was cracking me up every time he went to her.
It was like, you didn't get the picture. No, you got to fuck her. You got to get in there.
You got to spread them thighs and like really look.
That's pretty much what she was saying. Like, you took off all of her clothes, her panties and her bra. He's like, no.
Also, a little side thing that I really loved is when he first puts her in the room to like do her tailoring, and she's like nervous that she has to get undressed. She's like, oh my, like she wasn't considering that she had to get into her underwear. Yeah. And he's like, unless you're not comfortable. She's like, I'm so comfortable. This is so comfortable. Let me
just trembling.
I was just laughing because I was picturing that in my head. Like, yeah, I'm so comfortable.
As she's like, he's like measuring her and her thighs. And like,
her bust like, and her waist. She's like, yep, comfortable. This is great.
It's wonderful.
Oh, I loved it. And then another one. So I love the scene where he saves her. She freaks out. She has that moment of like, you didn't even send me flowers.
Yeah.
She says, never mind. But to tail onto that scene, she tells him right as she's leaving, I like buttercups, or I love buttercups. They're my favorite flower. And then he sends her at the very end the silk buttercups that he made for her. Hand sewed those fucking bitches.
Yeah.
I thought that was so sweet.
It is.
He did dirty though.
Yeah.
He needed to do that.
I'm about to talk about that. That trash. I just trash talking here.
Yeah. But he did it right.
He
like,
did.
He gave her some buttercups at the end. I was like, all right, that's really cute.
It did until he fucked up.
Yeah, he said some shit. I don't blame him for saying that shit because that's what he was supposed to say. So like, I get it, but like,
I mean, it's still trash.
Oh, it was trash. It wasn't true. And
you
knew it wasn't true when he said it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Another just random funny thing that I liked is after when they're moving from the room that they went into after the fire into the outside alleyway, he makes a note that the cooking staff rose, gaping as the blood guard captain and the disheveled aristocrat rushed through their workspace. And I just got the funniest image in my mind because that is actually really funny. You're just chopping away doing your fucking daily duty. There's a fire that explodes outside, and then out of nowhere, these two random people, the blood guard and a random aristocrat, come running through. She's all fucked up. She was in the midst of the fire. I love it. I just love that.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And then, of course. Okay, before Alex dies. Because I won't say that because you already said that. But yes, Alex dying and giving his blood was great. But right before he dies.
I was about to say, I love that.
Yeah, so he shows up. Rune's getting arrested. And he shows up like a fucking white knight.
Yeah.
And he says to her, she's like, go, don't do anything. Just leave me here to take my fate. And he's like, I'm sorry, Rune. If you think I'm going to stand here quietly and watch you die, then you're an idiot. And then he turns back and he just yells at the crowd. He's like, I helped her steal witches from my brother's cells. I helped smuggled criminals off his godforsaken island. I'm guilty. Now arrest me. I knew I was a part of everything. I did everything. Yeah. Take me with her.
I know.
It was so beautiful.
This guy, and like she's wearing his ring on his neck, and they take it away from her, and oh my god, Alex, man, this guy. And so they arrest him, arrest him right before he dies, and it's like. Oh, my Alex.
And then he says at the very last, the point is to live. Well, when he's like, take my blood, he's like, the point is to live. The point is to let me give you this one small thing because I couldn't give you
anything else. This man was willing to do anything for her.
He loved her. He was a 16-year-old boy.
I think he loved her before that because he introduces her to Gideon. And she was like...
Oh, yeah, probably before that.
Yeah, like the first... Like when he first met.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved her. He loved her for the minute he saw eyes on her.
Poor man was friend zoned for so long. And all he was like, I just want to take you
know
away
what,
from
though?
here.
I'm going to... Hot take on this. She was in his bed almost all the time cuddling up on him.
Yeah.
They were...
I was hoping... I was hoping was going to happen that night.
I don't know how she did not see it.
She was so stupid.
She okay, I'm going to be honest. I think she was selfish. Okay, she was very selfish. Yeah, she had 2 brothers that were hot. But like, okay, she wanted everything that Alex was her safety. She didn't want to lose that.
Yes.
She didn't want to lose that. She loved him, but she didn't love him in the way he loved her, and so she didn't want that to go away because if Alex found another woman to be with, to love, to cherish, he would not be doing that with her. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so she did not want that. She didn't want that taken away. She loved what Alex was giving to her, and that's why it was smart for her to say yes because you can't say you can't tell a man not to give you those or not to give those things away to anybody else if you're not willing to settle for him. Yes. And she was willing to do that. So I give her props, even though in her heart of hearts she felt like she didn't 100% have that that spiciness with him. She was like, maybe it could be there. And she was right. Maybe over time she could have, because she said she felt a little bit of spark, and he would have treated her like a fucking queen. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't doing anything wrong to him. She, other than like them not declaring each other exclusive, like she was still good to him. Yeah. She was giving him his piano lessons when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. She gave up things so that way he could go to school and stuff like that. She taught him how to be an aristocrat, to like make himself be where he needed to be. And like so she was doing everything for him. They were really good friends. I don't think that she, just because she didn't love him the way he loved her, she wasn't giving him what he needed. It just he never vowed to tell his feelings, and that's not her responsibility. No. To tell her, hey, tell me how you feel. Or to interpret any of what he's doing as anything more than just a friend thing. That's not her responsibility. No. And when he finally did, and he finally told her, she was willing to see where it went. So I don't think she did anything wrong. No. I don't think she led him on. They both felt like they were each other's safety. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, and they were childhood friends. They were childhood friends. So yeah, but I just don't understand. Maybe she didn't want to see that it was more because she was worried that he wouldn't give her those things anymore if she told him. She just wanted to be friends. But I felt the timing was right. And when she was ready to be with him, she realized that Gideon wasn't going to be good for her. And she made the right choice. But also I think that she also didn't want to allow herself to have those feelings because she had this sort of mission that she saw. She didn't see a happy ending for herself because she didn't feel like she deserved it. Yeah. So there was no way she was going to allow those thoughts of Alex to even seep in. Agreed. Because her whole point was, I need to find a suitor that's going to help me fulfill my mission, not look at any other man in any romantic way because that's not the mission. And I don't think she was wanting to. Like you said, she wasn't seeing herself to having a future, so she might as well make moves to benefit her goals. And then at that end, when she was deciding that she wanted to be with Alex, I think she decided, I want a future. Yes. This what's going on with the witches out here. And plus they found out that Verity was actually... I don't know if they found out yet. Yeah, they did. Because they found out the Roseblood Queen was around. Well, right? They found out that... Well, maybe not Verity, but that she was alive. Yeah. Because she was like she's more powerful than me. Yeah. So let her carry this on. Exactly. I'm going to go live a life and be safe with... Because now she was Gideon, found out. Yeah. So she was just like, I don't have no life here anymore. I'm done. I'm going to go and be safe with Alex. My grandmother would have wanted that. Alex is treating me well. I'm going to go with... Her heart was hurting. Like, it made sense. The timing was right for her to go. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad. She was finally willing to put this behind her and to be safe. And he made some great points. Yeah. He was like, your grandmother would have wanted this. I'm the best choice for you. Like, I'm going to take care of you. We know each other. Like, just come with me. You don't have to pretend with me. I know exactly who you are. I love you, and knowing who you are. And honestly, if we're pinning those two up against each other, Gideon wants her dead. I mean, Gideon would not... Gideon, at the end of the book, he did. He put her up, rounded her up with his own brother. When he knew. So... Yeah.
And he knew, and he said, "Nope, I don't love you. I'm gonna sell you off." But not Alex. Alex was like, "I'm here. I did it. I'm a part. Rest me too.
Yeah, like
take my blood, like this man."
How do you not go with Alex?
Yeah,
Alex was everything.
Yeah.
Now, do I say I want Gideon dead over Alex? Well, in this book, I would.
Yeah, well, when he arrested her, because I was hoping that there would be a tear for him of having to decide what he's gonna do, knowing who she is, and knowing his feelings.
I'm hoping he figured out, like, maybe, but he still, in this point in time, he did not know that she was a witch yet until he found her in her casting room, and then he was just like, "Oh, she's a witch." I honestly believe he didn't care that she was a witch. I think he was bitter that
she chose Alex.
And she was, because she did.
Yeah.
She saw it. Mm-hmm. And then he felt betrayed because he didn't trust him with the truth. And she's like, "I couldn't trust you with the fucking truth. You would, look what you're doing. You found out the truth. Look what you're doing." And he's like, "Oh, you still fucking chose my brother." Of course, because he didn't want to fucking kill me.
Yeah. Because
he knew her fucking ass.
He knew her, protected her, helped her, and loved her. And
every time Gideon had the time to actually show that he was wanting to be with her, he failed. He fucking said all that trash shit to Harrow and Lila or whatever about how she was just a good fuck or whatever. And it's just like, what? Right before that, he told her, "Trust me. Mm-hmm. Trust me.
These feelings are real.
Yeah. Trust me. I want to be with you." And then look at what he did. Mm-hmm. No, I would choose Alex too.
Sold her right down the fucking
fuck
river.
that. I would choose Alex too.
Yeah.
So, but the way the ending story goes, it's so depressing. So when I was rereading and watching all the stuff Alex did for her, how he put his jacket around her to protect her from, I was like, oh my god, this.
Immediately we saw her arm and just started healing her while she was talking.
Like, he was on it. Yeah. He knew what to do to protect her. He was willing to he didn't give a fuck. He didn't care. That's my man right there. I will die on this hill, being that I wish Alex was still alive and that she should have been with. But here, that's what I'm torn with. If Alex was alive and she would have with Alex, I don't know if she deserves Alex. Even though I want her to be with Alex, I think Alex deserves the love that he should have gotten. It's that split or swallow all over again.
Yeah. Not I'll see if this spark is bigger than it is.
Yeah.
No, either he deserves somebody who feels that same amount of spark.
Because she totally wants to be with Gideon.
Yes.
Even though Gideon's trash to her. Yeah. What is that bad boy effect? We all have it.
Yeah.
I get it. But, like, Alex is a sweetheart.
So great.
He deserves everything.
Yeah.
He deserves the world. And he didn't. He didn't get it.
So
depressing.
Questions and things to discuss?
That was it. That's what I wanted to discuss.
Oh, I have one then. Okay. Rune fucking Gideon. Overhearing his trash talk and then running to marry Alex is diabolical.
Yeah.
But she didn't wait not a day. She didn't air it
for
out.
A few hours.
She fucking was like, "Oh, he fucked me. I'm gonna go marry your brother." Like, girl. And it kind of pisses me off that Alex didn't know. I think that he deserved to know before he asked her to marry him.
I think so too.
Before he gave his life's blood for her.
Well, I think he tried asking because she came in. She's like, "Gideon's an asshole" or whatever, and he was like, "Did Gideon hurt you? Did he touch you? Did he like?"
He did. And she didn't say.
She didn't say anything.
She didn't say, "Yeah, we fucked." And then he trash talked me, and now I know it was all a game. No, she didn't say that. She said,
"You know what though? I think Alex being Alex, I don't think he would have. I think he would have been hurt, but I don't think he would have cared. I think he would have pushed harder. I think he would have pushed harder to make his point. Like, look, see, I fucking told you. Like,
100%.
He's a fucking piece of shit. I love my brother, but like, because he's made it a point to tell Rune all the time. Like, he is not going to change. He is thoroughly wrecked and traumatized. I've stayed here as long as I could for my brother, but that's the reason why he stayed, was for his brother. And then he just couldn't do it anymore. His brother is never going to go back to the way he was. That's what he's trying to tell her. And so she's like, I got to leave. I can't be in this house anymore. I can't do it. But when he told his story, when he was crying in her arms at night, telling the true story of the Roseblood story, it was heart-wrenching. Yeah. Because that's where you hear it from. You don't hear it from Gideon yet.
No, yeah.
You hear it from him.
Yeah, the first half of it.
Yeah. You eventually find out more later. But, like, you hear the main shit from him, and it's traumatizing. Yeah. And so, like, and he wasn't even there. Like, he wasn't even taking part of it. He heard it from Gideon. Yeah. And it's, like, upsetting. And he was, like, in her arms crying. And it's just, like, I don't know. It's fucking heart-wrenching.
It is heart-wrenching. I've skipped over my hated parts. I do have 2 hated parts.
Oh, okay. Please tell.
But sorry, I want to close on that. I think it's gross that she did that, though.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I agree that he probably wouldn't have cared, but I think it was gross that she didn't even wait a day.
Oh, no, completely agree.
To jump off one dick to jump on the next. It was crazy.
Well, luckily she didn't have sex with him.
No,
but
she
still,
did.
she like fucking made out with
that
him.
Poor man.
Yeah.
He didn't even not touch her one time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Hated part that I have. I really hated about reading how Cressa killed his baby sister.
Yeah. Oh, I actually do have that in the discussion part.
That was so sad.
Like, put her in a fucking room with the fever fucking, and wouldn't let anybody else, like, get to her or touch her.
She was crying and begging on the other side and calling for her mom.
For, like, days.
Until she died.
Yeah, for days.
And then this,
Because wasn't she, like, under 10?
Yeah, she was just a little girl. I teared up. That really hurt my heart.
Yeah, no wonder why Gideon was the way he was. He just, there was some shady ass crazy shit that those bitches did to him and his family, and then tortured him on top of it. Like, I can understand the way he feels, but still, that didn't mean every fucking witch in the whole goddamn fucking world.
But you can understand where the hatred might stem from. Yeah. I could see how listening to your baby sister dying of sickness on the other end of a room that you can't get to, and the witch who's supposed to love you is using you and holding you down, and then your mom goes and kills herself the next day. Like, I could see how all of that might play a role in your opinion on witches.
Yeah.
Because that was really hard to hear. That was super sad. But then on the flip side of that, one of my hated moments is sort of what we were talking about earlier. When they get the idea that, I don't know her name, Cressida is back alive. He's talking to the good commander about whether or not, what they should do, how they should handle the public while they're searching for her, because it's of utmost important that they get her, right? Like, and quickly, because she's super powerful, blah, blah. But anyways, he's thinking about it internally, and he says, after the New Dawn, Gideon hadn't thought twice about infringing on the rights and freedoms of the New Republic citizens. He did what had to be done to protect them, and if that meant entering and searching their homes without warning, if that meant locking them in their quarters after dark, if it meant hauling them into the interrogation rooms, if they so much as questioned whether or not the purging went too far, so be it. I thought that was disgusting. Yeah. Because that's the kind of, like, totalitarianism that's just gross. And the fact that you're fine with that, not only fine with that, but willing to go along with that, willing to say, yep, this is what we're going to do to keep people free. I hate that bullshit.
No,
it makes
I don't
me,
like
bleh. And so he was thinking this, and I was like, ew. Yeah, I was like, that's disgusting, Gideon. I don't like this mentality. I don't like this behavior. That's too authoritarian. That's too totalitarianism. I hate it. And it turned me off a little bit from him, because this, again, to go back to that girl's main comment, this side of him was really giving me the ick. His, like, sweetness and falling for Rune was very cute, but then he would switch into this shit, and it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
You are gross.
Agree. And then you got Alex over here saying, I won't even kill somebody who tortured my family, because I don't believe that killing witches, and because he's a witch sympathizer at the end of this, because he even says, he's like, I didn't kill her because I am a witch sympathizer. I am a person who don't believe in doing this stuff. So it's easy to be succumbed by it and then kill her. And then it just takes that one thing for me to no longer be who I am.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would have killed Cress, in my opinion. I would have fucking killed her.
Yeah, kill that bitch.
But he didn't have to think that just because this one individual, this person who needed to die, means everybody. He really wanted to hold steadfast to his beliefs. I do disagree with Alex not saying that he didn't kill her because it put everybody in jeopardy. However, he knew if he did, he would be looked at as a witch sympathizer.
Yeah.
So
he should have killed her.
He should have.
I understand his reasoning.
Yeah.
But, like, also, yo, did you hear? What he did to your baby sister?
I don't know if he did at this point yet.
He might not have, but I know what he did, and you should have killed that bitch.
Yeah, I agreed.
Or you just went to Gideon. Like, I understand, because Gideon wasn't at this point yet. I mean, he was, but he was ready to, like, start killing. But he wasn't, like, the top blood guard commander here yet. This all hadn't happened because this was day of. Yeah. You could have literally went to him that day and been like, hey, yo, I freaked out and I couldn't do it. She's still out. Let's go kill her. Like, that's what you could have done. That's not what you did. You just let her go away, and it fucked everybody up in the end. Yeah. So that was a big mistake. But generally, like, kill that bitch.
Yeah, agreed.
And her whole family. I don't know. Because were they part of this? Because the other sisters were messing with the dad, or the other queens were messing with the dad.
They were worse than her.
Kill them all. Yeah. Kill them all. I'm fine with that, but, like, stop at that.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And then change the world to a better place, not for both, not for either witches or humans, but for both. Like,
Yeah.
I disagree with the whole idea of making one side the authority of over the other. I just
trampling all over everybody's rights because you can. Gross.
It was disgusting. Yeah, I hated it. And I feel like back to that comment that was in Goodreads. Like, they are right. Like, that was disgusting, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be something that like Gideon should have gotten away with walking around with. But like we said a bunch of times, who is going to tell him? Mm-hmm. It's a crime. It's a crime to sympathize. Everybody has to do it in the dark, in the casting rooms, in the hidden areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were doing the best that they could to try and go against them. And look at, I mean, at the end of it, a big battle happened,
and I do think that stuff in there was sprinkled in there to keep you not fawning over him. Like, she made it sound, or whoever the commenter is, they made it sound like he was the love interest, but as you pointed out, it might not have been. He was not the main love interest, no. And then also I think things like that, where he's thinking these super authoritarian things in his mind, were there to keep you not fully falling for him.
Yeah,
that you were like, ugh.
He was supposed to be the ick.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be the one. Like, no, you were supposed to keep him at arm's length. You were always supposed to use him to get intel. It was meant to be that way, and that's why I feel like I think maybe the reader's disgust of him, thinking he was going to be the MMC or the main love interest, is what held them back from enjoying the book, and I can understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. You weren't meant to fall for Gideon, in my opinion.
Not all the way.
Not thoroughly.
You were supposed to at least.
You're supposed to have doubts in your head.
Like she
did.
This
guy change?
Yeah, and
is there an idea where why does he believe this? I want to uncover the truth. What really? She kept asking, what really happened? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't say. Mm-hmm. So like, what was your trauma? And like, he would say he was like drinking and doing stuff heavily. He mentioned it slightly here and there. So like, yeah, it was uncovering each other's truths. That's the whole point of this book. And sure, he was traumatized and disgusted, and he was following this leadership blindly. But at the same time, like, he wasn't, in my opinion, he wasn't meant to be the only MMC. He was just or love interest. I really think the love interest was mainly Alex.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my takeaway. That's who I would have felt for.
You were supposed to be, do I like him, do I not? You're supposed to be Rune. You were supposed to be going back and forth between whether or not he was ick or whether or not he was good, while Alex was always good on the side. I mean, that's the position you were supposed to take. And that's the position I take. Like, I like the banter. I like the back and forth. Yeah. But yeah, Alex at the end of the day was like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my man.
But it leaves a good redemption arc for Gideon for next book.
Hopefully.
Possible.
I mean, I read it, but...
I have not read it yet.
Yeah.
It just came out. I fucking had to read the goddamn Rival's Crown instead of this book.
Yeah, I'm excited because the beginning of this first book, just a heads up, no spoilers, it's really good. The beginning of this book or the next book, Rebel Witch, is really good. I couldn't put the book down for the very first few chapters because obviously, you know, Rune goes with the Cress and who else? Cress and somebody else she leaves with. There's 3 of them.
Oh, the main witch she went to go see.
Oh, Seraphina.
Yeah, Seraphina.
So Seraphina, Cress, and Rune are all gone. They left because the good commander, the good commander's dead. Mm-hmm. But the whole fucking blood guard is there fighting, so now they had to flee because they can't stay.
Yeah.
Because now they're left with this whole fucking shebang of things. So yeah, so now you're left with that. You're finding out what's gonna happen. It's pretty intense. I'm really excited for you to read the
Me too.
next book.
I'm excited. So of course that'll be our book for next week.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can follow along and see what we're doing.
Yep, and we will see you here next week for the Rebel Witch.
Bye.